went to the premiere of the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth Orchestra in LA, and it was one of the funnest things I've ever gotten to do. This was my first time ever going to an orchestra, so everything was a very new experience for me. I'll be showing you guys clips from the orchestra while I talk about my experience. There will also be many spoilers, so please keep that in mind. Now let's get into it. This was the first view I got of the theater, and it was absolutely stunning. The security line was super slow, so we, along with many others, were scrambling to find our seats before the show started, which is why footage of the first song is really scuffed. We were seated right behind the left balcony, so the view was incredible. The show started with the opening of Rebirth, and right after that, we immediately get to the beginning where we play as Zack. We watch him fight for the love of his life, and then we proceed to watch her die. To be fair, we don't exactly know what's going on in this alternate dimension yet, but I'm just gonna leave it at that because we immediately then cut to the Nibelheim flashbacks. Nibelheim definitely has some of my favorite music in the game, and this song is my favorite among them. After that, we listened to the battle edit of the main theme of Final Fantasy VII, which is always a great classic to listen to. This was then followed by more of the main theme, but in the Grasslands region. Now, I want to mention that I am the world's greatest crybaby. I immediately started tearing up when the shift started, but I told myself that I had to save my tears for the end. That did not last long though, as the main theme then transitioned into Hollow Skies. Hollow is one of my favorite Final Fantasy songs, and I cry almost every time I listen to it. I really wasn't expecting them to play it at all, so this was an incredible surprise and definitely one of my highlights of the night. After that, we heard many different medleys, including, correct me if I'm wrong, with Heavy Heart, Grasslands region, Junon region, Corel region, Jungles of Gongaga, Cosmo Canyon region, and Nibel region. I do enjoy the region medleys, but they were just going on and on for what felt like forever. The energy completely shifted when Arnie told us that they were going to play Queen's Blood, and oh boy, it was just the funnest song of the night. I've always been a big fan of Queen's Blood, but I think hearing it live to the audience really showed what a great time it is. It really made me want to run around the auditorium looking for someone to challenge, even though I'd probably lose. Even my brother-in-law, who has never played Final Fantasy VII, told me that this was one of the songs that made him want to play the game, even though he's not the biggest RPG person. I can't stress how lively and fun the audience was during this song. It really was just one of those moments you had to experience in person to really appreciate it. I really thought it couldn't get any better after Queen's Blood, but they ended up playing Stamp, or what most people would call Bow Wow Wow. This was a song that I really enjoyed while playing Rebirth, so I was really happy when I learned that the fanbase also liked it as much as I did. Hearing the crowd cheer as soon as they sang the words Bow Wow Wow brought such positive energy into the auditorium that I couldn't help but smile during the entire song. Rufus's welcome ceremony was next, and it was again another song that was just so fun to listen to. It's one of the only songs from the OG that I just couldn't wait to hear how they would arrange it, and it definitely didn't disappoint me. Up next was Welcome to Costa del Sol. It's the first calming song we've had in a bit, but it's definitely a nice change in pace compared to the songs before it. The audience definitely had a fun time with this one because there were more laughter and cheers for it than any other song we had so far. Just another fun one to add to the list. Custom Valkyrie was one that never really was on my radar until now. I went into it thinking it was going to be a song that I wasn't super excited to hear, but it actually pleasantly surprised me of how exciting it was. It's definitely one that stands out to me more after hearing it live, and I'll probably look out for it more often. Next up was End of the World. For me, it's one of those songs that I didn't pay attention to during my first playthrough, but now that I've heard it on its own, it's pretty enjoyable. I think most of us can agree that Cosmo Canyon is one of the greatest songs in the entire game. I remember hearing it for the first time truly blown away by how they made it sound even better than the original. It's one of those songs that can make me smile and cry at the same time. You really just can't go wrong with it. Barrier Soul is a really fun time, even though I don't really understand where the name comes from. Either way, it was a fun time that I wasn't really expecting. I was, however, expecting Welcome to the Gold Saucer to be a standout moment for me. Gold Saucer really never disappoints me except for the fact that it's not a real theme park. The music though is great. It always makes me so excited and it's just such a great time. Now that we reached intermission, I thought it would be nice to show you a quick glance at how beautiful the auditorium was. I wish I could have gotten a better video of it, but you may or may not be able to tell that I'm an introvert who was just too nervous recording around people. Anyways, the first song after intermission was Gift of the Goddess, also known as Loveless. I know I keep saying this for most of the songs, but this was another super fun one that the audience seemed to really enjoy. At the beginning of the song, I was really curious to know whether Aerith or Tifa would be Rosa. She actually turned out to be Aerith, which I was very surprised about even though I was secretly hoping it was going to be her the whole time. No Promises to Keep is a song that just never fails to make me emotional. They played the Loveless version, which is the one without Lauren Allred's vocals, but still just as beautiful. It's definitely different without the vocals, but you can really hear how incredible the orchestra is during the entire song. While I may have gotten teary-eyed at a few songs before this was the first song to actually make me cry a lot. That's not a very hard task to accomplish, but I'll always appreciate the songs that make me feel that way. The next song was Galleon Beast. I was very excited to hear the crowd go crazy over Vincent, and they definitely didn't disappoint. The song is great normally, but the crowd's love for Vincent just made the song so much more enjoyable. Next up was Aerith's theme. I think the crowd just completely summed up the emotions I felt during the song. Aerith's theme will forever be my favorite Final Fantasy song, and always one that I will hold close to my heart. I was just kidding about the song only being Aerith's theme because it actually transitions into Jenova Lifeclinger. Jenova is definitely known as one of the most iconic songs from Final Fantasy VII, and it really hyped the crowd up for the ending that was to come. Probably the most exciting song of the night. Sephra Reborn Symphony was the next song, and wow is this song beautiful. This short clip I have of it really doesn't do it justice, so I really encourage you to listen to the song on its own because it is just so powerful, words can't describe it. This orchestra would not be complete without OneWinged Angel Reborn, the most iconic song to ever come out of Final Fantasy. The emotions were just all over the place. Aerith came out and everyone started cheering for our queen, and then the true excitement begins as soon as you hear the iconic tune start. Nothing I can say will do the song justice other than the fact that it was just such an incredible work of art, and if you've never heard OneWinged Angel before, please listen to it. I promise you will not be disappointed. We end the night off with Aerith's theme, Return to the Planet. We all knew that it was coming, and I still couldn't hold back my tears. Even while writing the script, I still can't help but get choked up while listening to it. I can't explain how much the song means to me and how it'll always be so close to my heart. Aerith herself is a character that I hold near and dear to my heart, so this truly was the best song they could have ended it with for me. Now that we've gone through the entire orchestra, I'd like to quickly talk about my favorite things from the concert and the things that I think could have been better. Starting with the bad, parking was crazy, and thankfully we parked away from everyone else because I heard it was very hectic. We did, however, pay $50 for parking, which is kinda ridiculous, but it was worth it considering we wouldn't have made it on time if we didn't. I can't really blame them since it's just LA being LA, but it's always a hassle. Aside from parking, the security check line was another thing that caused us to barely make it on time. There were 3 lines, and the one that I was in was moving incredibly slow compared to the rest. If we had gone there just a few minutes later, we would have been stuck for a very long time. It was getting so bad that people around us were asking if they were going to start the show late due to the hundreds of us that were waiting out there for what seemed like forever. Really, my biggest problem with the entire concert were the light sticks. It's not much of a big deal, but I was really bummed when I heard that the light sticks were not going to be shipped out in time for the LA show. I heard that there were light sticks at the merch booth, but they sold out super fast, and I've even heard that they didn't have batteries, which confuses me since the entire point of them is to use them for the show. I probably saw at most 10 people with them, and maybe 1 or 2 that were on. I've heard that some people were disappointed with the setlist, but I personally think that it really had everything it needed. The only song I was a little surprised they didn't play was Temple of the Ancients, but nonetheless, I really think the setlist was perfect. Aside from those few issues, the concert was absolutely incredible. I personally think that we got some of the best seats in the theater, but it was so beautiful that really any seat would be a great view. The best part of this experience truly was the audience. It's always amazing being around people who share a common interest, and I really felt like I wasn't alone. All the cheers and excitement showed how much this game means to people. Out of all of the characters who got cheers, I'd probably say Ellie's favorite character was either Vincent, Sid, or Red playing Queen's Blood. The audience was just such a fun part, and it's what makes the experience for each show so special. That's all I really have to say about this experience. It was one of the best events I've ever been to, and I'm so grateful that I even had the opportunity to go. The Shinra Symphony Orchestra and Arnie Roth were just absolutely incredible, and I would definitely recommend any Final Fantasy VII fan to go if they have the chance. Let me know in the comments if you've gone or will be attending any of the Rebirth Orchestras. If not, let me know what your favorite songs are. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy your day.